What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Candy Kane. In the meantime and in between time, I'm coming to you, best friends and neighbors, with another video. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I told y'all I will start coming with videos. And, I'm new to this. I'm not trying to do this for YouTube money. I'm not trying to do this for a big YouTube. Now, if that all came to pass, hallelujah, besties. I really want, I really want to start speaking some things that's on my heart, on my mind, and get some things out there. I'm not going to make this video super long, but I want to talk about fear tactics. So it's this video that I had seen on TikTok, and it was going around, and I didn't appreciate it. I did not appreciate where this video was coming from.
Long before
so I'm
the
gonna
FBI
play
his home and office, it was pretty clear that Henry Cuellar
I'm gonna
was
play some of this video to kind of give you a feel of what I was talking about.
With my overall agenda, I think
now it was a video. Kind of let me build it up. It was a video about this politician, and he was making a prediction, right? And the prediction was about, the percentage of African American income in 2053, and it made some other analogies, it gave 3 examples. Trucking that is going to operate on its own, AI replacing telemarketers, and robots replacing Amazon workers. And it made a reference to Black people will be put out of jobs. First of all, I was I was insulted, because those are not the only economic jobs that Black people we possess. And it's a fear tactic. And I feel like right now, with the climate that we're under an attack, right? Because to be honest, when was the Black dollars ever a large percent of the economy? Probably never. Think about it. If you think about slavery, we had a 0% then. If you think about moving forward from slavery and being free, we still had a 0%, because I'm pretty sure Black people's, their wealth never accumulated to white wealth. Never. As long as we've had our foot in America, our contribution, economic contribution, has never been at an overwhelming high. We probably have put our foot in the door, especially when we had our own cities and we were functioning with our own banks and, certain things we had going for ourselves, but they stole all of that. They burnt all of that. They crashed all of that. They made laws to go against whatever we ever had going. So anything that we build as a people have always been taken, stolen, and crashed out of jealousy, hate, envy, strife, and whatever, right? So our dollars have never had this huge percent until now. I think African American Blacks have made more money the past 15 years than the past maybe 20 years, or could be even 30. But the last between 20 to 30 years, the Black dollars have accumulated and made a presence in the economy, wealth, right? But to be honest, it's never been a high percentage. So when he made this reference, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's start here. Here we go. Listen to this.
Well, a lot of it overlaps with my overall agenda, because I think that the freedom dividend and universal health care would go a long way. But I'm for getting rid of private prisons. I think it makes no sense to have prisons that have a profit motivation.
Why do y'all think all black people in jail?
I mean, again, it affects everyone.
Yeah.
I'm for dramatically increasing the federal allotment to HBCUs because the problem with education right now is it's become a business. And so what happens is schools end up benefiting by catering to the affluent because they'll donate more money and they can pay full freight and the rest of it. And so you have these HBCUs that have an incredible historical mission, have been shown to elevate hundreds of thousands of African Americans, but because they don't have these crazy endowments that some of the rich schools do, that they're struggling. And so the federal government can help shore that up. The government, in my mind, exists in part to counterbalance the excesses and perversions of the marketplace. And right now in American life, the market is just running amok. It's overrunning everything. And that's what we have to stop. And the one great way to stop that, get this dividend into everyone's hands, and that'll help us reclaim our democracy.
Why would the top 1% of the country, right, even just people that's doing well in life, need an extra $1,000 a month?
Well,
should it really be for universal? Should it really be for everybody?
There are a few reasons why I think it should be universal. Well, one in this example is like Jeff Bezos and the guy are going to be paying hundreds of millions, billions of dollars into it, so we don't care if they get $1,000 a month. It's like, it's just like a reminder that they're still a human being and a citizen. But if you try and make it income based, it ends up.
Okay, so this is not the part that I wanted. I apologize. That was not the part that I wanted.
So, you want to get hired before summer ends? The hottest tech companies are desperate to hire for customer
But let's
success
talk about
and
it.
tech
Let's
sales positions.
let's talk about
Wave that is coming. This economic tidal wave.
Let's talk about what he said. So, Charlamagne's question was, what do you have for the black agenda? He didn't even answer the question. He went from prisons, which told you a lot of what he thought about us, to HBCU colleges, and he didn't never really answer the question of this guy name is Andrew Young. He's an Asian politician who was running for president, right? And he really was coming across like a Donald Trump, somebody who says a whole lot of nothing. And I think that people seen Trump's strategy and realized I could be a politician too then. If he said a whole bunch of promises that he knew he wasn't going to make and said a whole bunch of nothing, I could do it too. And that's how if you ever get the time to go look up this particular interview from The Breakfast Club with Andrew Yang, talks universal basic income, benefiting from tech, and it was his run for president plus more. You will hear someone talking absolutely nothing. And his whole entire speech was more on dividend. And what dividend is, basically money that's going to be distributed. It's supposed to be quarterly, but it benefits you. It's from like shareholders. If you was a shareholder in a company and you would get the dividend, the benefit of this extra money that comes from it. That's what it is. And he's talking about giving that money to every American. And at first he said, like if you're on Social Security or something like that, you would either get the Social Security benefits or the dividend. You couldn't get them both. And then Charlamagne had asked him at a later date if Social Security would be included. And he was like, yeah. I mean, he just blew him off. And then, just a lot of important questions, this guy. He was not answering them at all. And what made me mad about this particular interview is that when he made, oh my goodness, I can't remember where it's at. It had to be closer to this. I don't know where it's at. So hold on, let me see if I can find it still. When he made this reference about in 2053, let's see.
But I will say, guys, like this, it's embarrassing that a lot of the money for these trials is coming from private individuals. Because coming in the 60s and 70s, the United States government was giving money to thousands of American families, poor people who don't have the resources, people of color, and the same thing's going to happen in this. So that's why I'm running for president. Is I can see the tidal wave coming very, very quickly. Well, yeah, you should look it up. And so why are they
Here we go,
forecasting
here we
that this
go.
government was giving money to thousands of American families to test out whether this sort of program works? And it should be the public sector leading the charge on this, because we're entering the age of AI. We're going to have self-driving cars and trucks in 5 to 10 years. 30% of malls are going to close in the next 4 years thanks to Amazon. 2.5 million call center workers in the U.S. are going to get replaced by AI. There was a study in The Guardian that said the median African-American household net worth is going to be zero by 2053, like in 34 years. You guys see that study?
No.
Well, yeah, you should look it up. And so why are they forecasting that African-American net worth is going to go to zero? It's because of this economic tidal wave that is coming. This economic tidal wave is going to wipe out many working-class jobs. And it's going to be the equivalent of a natural disaster.
But you see how he targeted just us? It's going to be at 0% because many jobs are going to be wiped out. But he said if he was to be able to set up this dividend that everyone would benefit from, it'll help create jobs and lower health care. How is that if all the jobs are going to be wiped out? I was done with this dude. But what I really, really didn't like is the fear tactic that, he's trying to pressure. Now, he's on a black radio cast, spewing this kind of information. And I was so mad at the Breakfast Club for not bringing it to him, making him explain more than that right there of how did you get to this determination based off of the information that you're giving us. Wouldn't everybody be affected by that? I mean, not just black workers work for trucking or telemarketing or Amazon. So if you take away these jobs, how is that going to only affect black people? Because last I checked, those were not the only jobs that I see black people working in. Now I will say that a lot of our African Americans, some of them have really great jobs that contribute to really important things, but a lot of us are just regular workers, whether it's a regular food service job or a hospitality job at a motel or something of that nature. But, those jobs are always going to be in position to have real people behind the scenes. I mean, not trying to just put us to those kind of jobs, but when you just give us as the example and not say everybody would be hurting, what does that mean what are you trying to say to and about us? Now, he already related prisons to us, which I thought, boy, this says a lot what this guy think about black people. And I don't vote for, undercover racists. That's why I couldn't vote for Trump. I wanted to vote for Trump, and I as much as that's probably embarrassing to say, it was the truth. There was a lot of things about what Trump was doing that I liked. But the fact that he stirred up racism and he's made our climate very cloudy right now, racism really started to get potent and show out, and people have not died down totally from it. But really, he brought out a doormat situation that really was going to meet its heyday anyway. But now it's gotten bolder, and it's because of Trump. He could have been a decent president, but at the same time, he was playing both sides of the spectrum. Because I'm going to say this about Trump, and then I'm going to get off of Trump because I'm really not a political person. I really don't do the political thing. I've been watching the Ukraine situation, and that alone is trying to put fear into us and put us in a state of mind of war. And, I'm going to say this. If God was ready, that's the only time to have some fear base. Everything else, we're just going to have to go through the motions and roll this thing out on faith, though. Because it's going to take faith and it's going to take prayer to get through anything. There's nothing you're going to get through that you're not going to have to be on your knees about, and having faith and trusting God for your next day, your next minute, your next second and hour, because none of this is promised to us in no kind of way. So there's really not a reason to fear. Whatever's going to happen will happen. Just be right. Just be prepared to, if it pop off, you prepared to go to your next location and be at peace. That's all I want to say. But, that comment, that whole thread of what he was saying, I was mad at the Breakfast Club for not making him really come with more information on saying that, because he owed an explanation. Do you know how much negativity that was spewing out to our people? And what he was really banking on is that we would just hear this $1,000 and be so shifted and gung ho about getting this dividend on top of the money that you make. And I thought, see, you got to know when you hear a salesman that's pitching a sale to a boardroom of people and not an economy and an American people, a broader aspect of people that's like, dude, is you stupid? Dude, is you goofy? Like, I couldn't buy it, but it's a video going around just having that small window of information about in 2053, our economic input, I guess, will be at a 0%. But can I tell you, we've always had a low zero input. Our economic dollars have never been that broad where we made a huge percentage stampede in this society, because one, it's not that many of us, I don't believe. I don't believe. Because if you ever do a census on just welfare, our welfare, go to any state. If you go to any state in America and you do a welfare census, or you look up the welfare census in each state to see who generates the most assistance from welfare, and it's Caucasians first. They are about at least 54%. And then you have Mexicans that make another, like 30%, 30, maybe even 35%. And everything else is everybody else. That's a lot. And you think I'm playing when I'm giving you those percentages, but I'm not. 54% of people who get food stamps and welfare is white people. Then Mexicans, and then African Americans on every chart in America. Even if you was to look up Mississippi, black people are still the little corner of being the recipients that receive. So when you see that, it should make you concerned on what are they trying to make us believe, and how are they trying to attack us right now? And I feel like even in this war, when I seen Ukraine not allowing the Africans to get on the plane and leave, and I understand, I don't know if they want those people to stay and help fight, or how it's going. Like, I don't know if they're like, hey, you guys are not going to run out on us now when we let you come over here and get education and this and that and that and this and sleep with our women and be with us, and now y'all want to bail out and run and leave. Not today. I don't know if that was the case, because I haven't gotten that into it. I do need to look at this more. I'm the kind of person who certain things I cannot lend my eyes to, because I'm like that person. You got to watch your three gates. You got to watch what you receive through your eye gate, what you hear through your ear gate, and what you say, or what you inhale. you just gotta watch it, especially at times like this. There's certain things I don't want to let my spirit, and I know knowledge is power. And so keeping up with the times is really important. It's important to know what's going on, but, I still lead off of prayer and faith, and I don't worry about some of the other things, the small things, and I know that God will guide me through it all, even if it takes it to come to that hour. So I'm cool in the way I do things. I'm not saying that's healthy for everybody else because, people, want to stay tuned in to CNN, but the media lies too much for me. And I can't, it's just like this particular segment that I'm giving you right now with this Andrew Yang making this kind of claim about, our economic input in 2053 and 30 some years. That kind of stuff. Where are you going with that? What do you want from us? What kind of fear tactic are you trying to attack us with? And where are you getting? I didn't appreciate that. I don't appreciate seeing that video spew around trying to kill the hopes and dreams of Black Americans in our future. It's just something in me. Look. I wanted to tell you, my friend, my neighbors, this is the kind of stuff I want to discuss. I'm not a political person, but I'm a person who I want you to know not to fear. I want you to have faith and let it be your basis of everything. I'm not trying to tell you to choose God, but now is the time for you to understand that everything that's going on is not for no reason. It's a reason behind everything, and we need to get to the bottom of what it is. If you Black, I need you to be encouraged. I need you to stay encouraged. I need you to know that some of this stuff that's being spewed out is just to hold you back and not to lead you up, but to watch your 3 gates. You feel me? Protect your 3 gates. Don't inhale all these TikTok, cause I watch a lot of YouTube, and boys, it's something about that TikTok you can get glued to. You just go from one video to another video to another video and some of it be really resourceful. I can't cap. It'd be so resourceful. You be like, I didn't know that. It done taught me how to wash clothes in certain ways and stains and cook without a real stove and fire. TikTok does have so much information, but it also have information that'll rob your soul. So you got to be very, very careful when you're inhaling some of this social media hoopla, because it's a lot out there to be sold. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to watch the climate we're in right now. Like I said, President Trump got the temperature rising on racism, and it's just tied into a lot of things. We have to be led by the Spirit, by a spirit of truth, and just stay encouraged. That's all this video is about. Don't fall into the fear tactics that's going on right now. Keep your head high and lead yourself in prayer, because praying over you and your family, praying before you do a lot of things, putting God first, making sure that you bring a peace to your atmosphere, to have a sober mind, to make good conscious decisions. That's the route to go. That's the route to go, okay? So I'm so glad, friends and neighbors, that we was able to talk. I told you in the meantime and in between time there will be a video. And here is a video for you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that we can do it again. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. All right. Just to let you know, Love in Huntsville is going to start. I will be covering Love in Huntsville as well, as I'm still covering Married at First Sight season 14. Episode 9 is coming up. So I'll see you at least by Wednesday or Thursday or somewhere maybe in Friday. But we will meet again this week. Have a good one. Bye.